Hey everybody, it's Charlie from Daily Motor. Today we've got the audio system demo of the 2021 Acura TLX and the ELS 3D surround sound audio system. This is going to be an in-depth review. We're going to take a look at how the infotainment system works, take a look at speaker locations, get out on the road, listen to sample tracks, and I'll give you my thoughts at the end and let you know if this is the best audio system that we've ever tested. Before we get started, let's hop out and take a quick look at the car. This is the totally redesigned 2021 Acura TLX compact sedan, although it is looking pretty large here with its low, wide profile, its aggressive looks. I think they did a really excellent job with this car, and if you'd like to see more on the TLX, check the links in the description for our in-depth review as well as the highway fuel economy test. So we always do these tests with uncompressed, lossless WAV audio files on a USB stick plugged directly into the audio system, and high-quality binaural microphones in both of my ears, giving you the most realistic audio system demo on YouTube. We also do the test with the sound settings set to their factory defaults. So let's take a look at those now. To control the infotainment screen here in the TLX, you use the center touchpad, which is probably the best implementation of a touchpad that I've seen in a vehicle, but that doesn't mean it's necessarily good. The screen's a little bit slow, and while this is relatively intuitive, you kind of tap on the pad to emulate where you're touching on the screen there. This isn't a touchscreen, so you have to do everything through here, and it's still not as easy to use as a touchscreen or as a rotary knob device such as in the BMWs. But you go up to sound settings here. You've got your standard front, rear, left, right, fader, and balance, as well as bass, mid-range, and treble. You can adjust the roof and center volumes for these speakers up in the roof as well as the center speaker. And you also have speed volume compensation as well as DTS neural surround, so that's kind of an artificial surround sound feel, and compressed audio enhancement for radio or Bluetooth, those sort of inputs that are compressed. Let's go through and take a look at bass, mid-range, and treble right now. Whoops. Nope. To our next song, we'll actually go through to the roof and center volume settings, adjust those a bit. So as the song's getting started, let's actually look at speaker locations. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 up above the driver and passenger's heads, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 in the rear deck there. Open the trunk, and you have 16, 17 underneath the trunk floor subwoofers. The system has a max of 710 watts, and it uses that power nicely, and 16 individual channels, which really make for some cool audio experiences. Now let's go through and adjust the roof speaker volumes. Center speaker. So it's cool that Acura provided the ability to adjust the volumes on all those. Let's also go down and turn on and off the neural surround. So it's on right now. Go off. So it's pretty subtle, but things do seem a bit more artificial, a bit more surround with that enabled. For audio controls in the TLX, you've got a nice volume knob here, easy to grab, good detents, pretty good proximity to the touchpad, and you've got a volume rocker on the left side of the steering wheel. For track selection, you've got track physical selection right here, which I'm glad they included right by the volume knob. You can also use the touchpad if you're in the music screen, and you can go back and forth right here on the steering wheel. For audio inputs in the TLX, you have your standard AM, FM, Sirius XM satellite radio, Bluetooth, USB-A, just one port though, with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto support, a 3.5mm auxiliary input jack, and that is it. So, what are you missing? Well, you don't have a disc player, and you also don't have USB-C. I bet you'll be seeing USB-C in the next model year or two, but don't count on any sort of disc player. It's also a bit frustrating to get from audio inputs. It would be nice if there were an audio landing screen and then inputs were within there, but instead, to go home, on your main home screen here, you've got a few of your inputs, and then you swipe over and you've got some of your other ones. And you can reorder those, but it's just frustrating that sometimes if you want to go maybe from Bluetooth audio over to your Sirius XM, it requires a few different button clicks. Say you were in navigation, you were listening right now, and you were like, I don't want to listen to my USB audio anymore, I'd like to switch to Bluetooth. It's one click to go home, another quick click to slide over, and then a third click for Bluetooth audio. Not the end of the world, you can also use voice controls for that, but the screen isn't the quickest in the world, so everything just takes a little bit of time, and that's exacerbated when you're out on the road. Let's do a little Apple CarPlay and Android Auto demonstration. Let's do Android Auto first. We'll have to unplug our music USB, since there is only one USB port into the system. Plug in. We have not launched Android Auto on this vehicle yet, so we see, remember, enable Android Auto. And we get our prompts on our device. And there we are. We see Android Auto successfully started up on the screen. And because it's not a touch screen, you do have to use the touchpad and actually swipe through. So you can't do like the main navigation where you just push your finger right there and click. You actually have to slide up, click, slide over, click. Not the worst in the world. Actually, almost in some ways works better than the actual Acura navigation, because you can just kind of slide around as you're driving. It's not very sensitive sliding, so kind of takes a little bit to get used to. Not awful, but again, not as intuitive as a touchscreen. Let's unplug that and switch over to Apple CarPlay. There we are. Enable Apple CarPlay. Yes. Allow. Ignore. We don't want Acura Link. iPhone connected. And we've got Apple CarPlay. So there we are. Same sort of thing. Got to swipe through. Select things. We go over to Maps. Go over to Music and Settings. All works decently well, looks fine, and it's nice that you still have that side screen, so you could have your navigation going over there and be on something like Apple Music, or vice versa. You could have maybe Sirius XM going and have your Google Maps on that side. Not too bad. Let's get our music back in, and we will get on the road. Now, I will say Acura also included their own 3D Studio demonstration tracks, which sound amazing, and we will do a separate video covering those tracks because I cannot monetize them. They will be monetized by their own music producers, so I can't make money on that video, but because I like you guys so much and I want you to experience it, we'll do a separate video driving around listening to some of those great tracks. They do have 5.1 surround audio, which sounds really good. It was curated for this car, and if you really care, you should take a listen. All right, let's start it up. Music doesn't dip out when you're starting, which I like to see. to highway speeds. Turn the music down, let you hear what the TLX sounds like at 70 miles per hour. Well, it's quite a refined car. I'm impressed by the absence of wind noise, road noise, engine noise. All of that helps to increase your audio system experience, taking out that ambient noise. So this next song really shows off the audio system by demonstrating how many different channels it has, allowing all the instruments to come through their own unique parts. It has a crispness and a power to it. So let's take a listen. Now, a mark of a very good audio system is when you listen to it and you notice sounds and songs that you rarely, if ever, noticed before. And that's what you experience here in the ELS TLX audio system. With all the different channels it has and the different speakers and their well-placed designs, you hear little tiny bits, little instruments, little flourishes that you might have never noticed in other songs. This one's a great example. We play this song in every single test we do, and in this car you can hear little bits of the snare drum, the bass drum, the guitar. Every single element of every instrument is coming through very nicely. Now, I would argue if I go up here and I turn off the DTS Neural Surround, it sounds just that much more natural and crisp. Nothing is harsh, nothing sounds bad, it all comes through nice and crisp. For this song, turn the bass all the way up, see what those little subwoofers back there manage. Amount of bass, but I'm not really getting too much mirror shakeage. I'm not really feeling it in my chest or in the seats, and there's a little bit of a slap that I'm a bit disappointed by. Just not the crispest, most powerful bass that I've ever heard. My thoughts on the ELS 17 speaker system here in the TLX, it is really, really good. What they did with the speaker locations, the different channels, the amplifiers, everything comes out for such an amazingly crisp and dynamic 3D audio system experience. Is it my favorite system that I've ever reviewed? I thought about it a lot throughout the week, and the answer is no. The only reason being, it doesn't have the power and the trueness of sound of some of the best systems like the Mark Levinson, the GX460, the GLS 580 Mercedes system, and some of the best level 2021 Volvos. However, what it does do better than any of those systems is 3D. And if you want to see more on that, check the link in the description for the 5.1 audio test and demo that we do for this car. But the sound's a little artificial sometimes, and it does a really awesome job at placing sounds around you. And Acura did a really good job tuning all of the speakers, making it sound very crisp and satisfying. But when it really comes to the heavy, hard-hitting pumps and sort of full theater system experience, it doesn't quite have the power of the best SUVs on the market. That being said, objectively speaking, for audio quality, I'm giving this system about a 9.5. It really is quite impressive. Subjectively speaking, for the sedan, compact sedan luxury class, this is about a 9.5 or a 10. There really aren't any sedans with sound systems quite this good. So with that, we're out of music and we're out of time. Thank you all so much for watching. If you want to see more on the TLX, hit the links in the description, and we'll see you on the next one. I'm Charlie from Daily Motor, and as always, drive on.